In the Second World War, victory was written in the skies. The nation that controlled the air controlled the fight. America, slow to start, unleashed an industrial maelstrom, building a series of flying predators that would hunt the Axis to extinction. These weren't just planes. They were legends, forged in the heat of combat and flown by a new generation of aces. But among these titans, which were the deadliest? Today we're counting down the top 5 deadliest American fighter planes of World War II. We are ranking these aerial predators based on their combat kill ratios, their total number of victories, and most importantly, their strategic impact on winning the war. Our countdown begins with one of the most innovative and recognizable fighters of the war, the Lockheed P-38 Lightning. The Germans called it the fork-tailed devil, and for good reason. Its twin-engine design gave it incredible speed, a high ceiling, and an impressive rate of climb. Its greatest advantage was its firepower. Unlike other fighters with wing-mounted guns that had to be harmonized to a specific range, the P-38 packed all its weapons, 4.50 caliber machine guns, and a 20mm cannon, directly in the nose. This created a concentrated stream of ordnance that, as one historian put it, could tear a locomotive boiler apart. The P-38 truly shined in the vast expanses of the Pacific Theater, where its long range was a priceless asset. It was a P-38 that flew the legendary mission to intercept and shoot down the architect of the Pearl Harbor attack, Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto. America's top 2 aces of all time, Richard Bong and Thomas Maguire, scored all of their combined 78 victories flying the Lightning. However, it was a complex and demanding aircraft to fly, and its engines were vulnerable in the cold, high altitudes over Europe, keeping it at number 5 on our list. At number 4 is the biggest, heaviest, and toughest single-engine American fighter of the war, the Republic P-47 Thunderbolt. Pilots called it the Jug, and it was built around the colossal Pratt & Whitney R-2800 double Wasp engine. This 7-ton behemoth was a monster. In the air, it was a superb high-altitude escort, boasting 8.50 caliber machine guns that could pulverize anything in their path. But its true deadliness was revealed when it was unleashed at low altitude. The Jug was a flying tank. Its rugged airframe and powerful radial engine could absorb an astonishing amount of damage and bring its pilot home. This toughness made it the premier American fighter bomber of the war in Europe. P-47 pilots destroyed thousands of German tanks, trucks, trains, and artillery pieces. According to the U.S. Air Force, P-47s dropped over 132,000 tons of bombs and fired over 135 million rounds of ammunition. While it may not have had the glamour of other fighters, the P-47 Thunderbolt was the workhorse that crippled the German army on the ground, a truly deadly multi-role machine. Screaming into the number 3 spot is the whistling death, the Vought F4U Corsair. With a massive 2,000 horsepower engine, the Corsair was a beast, the first American single-engine fighter to top 400 miles per hour. Its unique inverted gull wings were a brilliant piece of engineering designed to provide clearance for its enormous 13-foot propeller. Initially deemed too difficult for carrier landings, the Corsair was handed to the U.S. Marine Corps, who used it to devastating effect from island air bases across the Pacific. By the end of the war, its carrier landing issues were solved, and it flew from Navy decks as well. In the hands of Marine and Navy pilots, the Corsair was an unparalleled killer. According to official U.S. Navy records, the F4U Corsair achieved an overall kill-to-loss ratio of 11-to-1 against Japanese aircraft, one of the most impressive of any fighter in history. It racked up over 2,100 aerial victories. For its sheer speed, power, and its incredible combat record, the Corsair rightfully earns its place as one of the deadliest fighters of the war. Our runner-up was not the fastest or the most glamorous fighter, but it was the undisputed king of the Pacific Carrier War. At number 2, it's the Grumman F6F Hellcat. The Hellcat was designed by Grumman with one purpose in mind: to be a Mitsubishi Zero killer. It was the answer to the nimble Japanese fighter that had dominated the early war. It was rugged, easy to fly, and could take immense punishment, a hallmark of what pilots called the Grumman Ironworks. Critically, it could outclimb and outdive the Zero at nearly all altitudes. The Navy loved it, and they ordered it in staggering numbers. Over 12,000 Hellcats were built in just 2 years. The Hellcat entered service in 1943 and proceeded to systematically annihilate the Japanese Naval Air Force. It was the star of the Great Marianas Turkey Shoot, where Hellcat pilots shot down hundreds of Japanese planes in a single day. Official figures credit the F6F Hellcat with 5,223 aerial victories, accounting for roughly 75% of all of the U.S. Navy's air-to-air kills in the war. It was the workhorse that broke the back of the enemy and won control of the Pacific skies. The Fork-tailed Devil, the Jug, Whistling Death, the Zero Killer. 4 legendary aircraft, each a master of its domain. But one American fighter did more than just win battles. It changed the entire strategic course of the war. At number 1, the deadliest American fighter of World War II is the North American P-51 Mustang. Early versions of the Mustang with their original Allison engines were decent, but a stroke of genius transformed it into a legend, fitting it with the British Rolls-Royce Merlin engine. The result was a fighter that had it all: breathtaking speed, superb high-altitude performance, and excellent maneuverability. But its most important feature, the one that made it a war winner, was its incredible range. With drop tanks, the P-51 could fly from England to Berlin and back. Before the Mustang, the American daylight bombing campaign was on the verge of collapse. B-17 and B-24s were being slaughtered by the Luftwaffe beyond the range of their fighter escorts. The P-51 changed everything. It could stay with the bombers all the way to the target and back, sweeping the Luftwaffe from the sky. General Jimmy Doolittle, commander of the 8th Air Force, unleashed the Mustangs, ordering them to hunt and destroy the German fighters wherever they could be found. P-51 pilots would shoot down nearly 5,000 enemy aircraft in Europe. They didn't just win dogfights, they systematically dismantled the German Air Force, ensuring the total Allied air supremacy that made D-Day in the final victory possible. For its unmatched strategic impact, for saving the bomber offensive, and for breaking the back of the Luftwaffe, the P-51 Mustang was, without question, the deadliest and most important American fighter of the war. This was an incredibly tough list to rank, with legends like the P-40 Warhawk just missing the cut. What do you think? Did we get the order right? Let us know your top 5 in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the machines that won the war.